Eric,
How we feeling?
what up with it, man?
NFL back, enjoying this nice episode of the Ringside Club alongside Baltimore Ravens and Kansas City Chiefs. You know, Title Town. That's where I'm at. So shout out to the Kansas City Chiefs. You know what I mean? Defending a throne right now.
I don't know what's going on in the NFL. I got to tap back, and I see the Jets are playing on Monday, right?
Yes, it's the Aaron Rodgers debut.
My man has one play in 2 years. Let's see what that boy is hitting for.
All right, it's inevitable. It's inevitable to see how he's going to do.
Let's
Yeah, that's
tweak
it,
this out,
man.
man.
Feeling good, feeling great. Got the RSC Predictions Championship back on. You know what I'm saying? Salute to the guys that under, you know what I'm saying, under the mat. The guys over there, Saltine attacking them, but I had to go ahead and get the belt back. I feel like it. You know what I'm saying? The predictions was good. It was really No Mercy, NXT, that put it over the top for me.
Oh,
That
I
was
ain't even make predictions for No Mercy.
Yeah, you ain't put the
I ain't even
predictions
make
in. Did you
predictions for
watch
No
No
Mercy.
Mercy?
I tried. I tried. I tried to watch. I watched a little bit of that. I watched a little bit of Bash in Berlin. I like the strap match. That was cool.
Mm-hmm.
I think the Cody match was cool. It was cool. Like it was cool.
That's it. It was just a cool pay per
It
view.
was
Like I
cool.
still gave it 2 thumbs up, but it was just basic PLE.
Yeah, it was cool.
Basic PLE vibes, all the predictable outcomes.
Damn, I ain't got my lights on. Who am I? There we go. Now you see me. Now you see me. But yeah, man, what's the good word, man? I'm back on mainland. I was on vacay. I
I
was
was
on the
vacay.
ocean. It was cool. It was cool.
Well deserved.
Got a little tan. It was nice. It was nice. Kicked it with some loved ones. Got that unfortunate news that Sid passed like the day I got there or the
Oh,
day
you
after I
touched
got
them.
there. Yeah, that was kind of whack. Rest in
Yeah, that
peace to
was
Rich Homie Quan. That's kind of
man
whack.
crazy news today with Rich Homie, man.
That's
That's
crazy,
right
bro.
too, man. It's crazy to see. You know what I'm saying? Stay away from them bad drugs, them fake pills. Them fake pills is a killer, man. You know what I'm saying? They found Mac Miller's guy, so hopefully they find Rich Homie's dude as well too, man. You know what I'm saying? Get that
Yeah,
justice
man.
served. Rich Homie.
Long live that man. Peace to his fam and loved ones. That's a crazy loss, man. That's a crazy loss. I'm gonna run some of those records up over the weekend for sure.
Taking a swig right now for Rich Homie, you know what I'm saying? Out of the
Absolutely.
personal Rickside Club RSC Cup. Make sure y'all pick them up. Y'all pouring up responsibly. Shout out to everybody that does own a cup or two. Y'all know who y'all are.
Word.
Peace to Bug out on assignment as well too.
Yes, sir. That hoodie was fire.
Very good work. You know what I'm
That
saying?
hoodie was fire.
Merch game going crazy. You know what I'm saying?
Yeah, that hoodie is fire.
Merch game is going crazy. Much love to everybody that's joining us right now on the stream. Like and subscribe and telling a friend to tell a friend. It's the Ringside Club, episode 103. Spindrift Master himself, A.O. Baker, back from vacation. You know,
Might as well get that show started
let's do it.
right
Let's
now.
drop the intro.
Peace to y'all, it's the Ringside Club Paul. A.O. Blame Boogie, Chad Law. The power's back, triple power bomb. The big dog trio in the stream, y'all. Go outside, hit the venue guard. It's all love when you see us, Lord. Back to the pad, on air for the pod. Ringside Club, intro to the squad. Let the show start. Indeed, it is. Peace, 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 peace. Peace to the gods, of course. Peace to the earth. Peace to everybody out there in eye,
And
ears, reach. We're back. It's the mightiest of the mighty, like we usually do every Thursday night, 9:05 live, right here on your YouTubes and your X's and your Hot 97 every day. That's my word. It's the Ringside Club, man, broadcasting live from the Empire Tri-State. My name is A.O. Baker. I'm here with the reigning defending RSC heavyweight champ, Chad Law. But before we get into any reintroductions and things of that nature, I want to let everybody know that you can head over to the ringsideclub.com. All the past episodes are there. All the future episodes are there. Make sure you subscribe on the YouTube. Follow us across all social media. That means TikTok, Instagram, Threads, X, wherever else. We're there for sure. And, of course, subscribe the audio, Apple Podcasts, Spotify, and, of course, right here on YouTube for all of the on-demands if you don't catch the on airs, pardon me.
It's a lot of shows
man.
around. A lot of shows happening. You know what I mean? The Signature Move doing well. Much salute to that. You know what I mean? Got a new episode about to drop shortly.
Yeah, I'm going to drop it in the morning.
Which episode are you covering? Which move?
So, Signature Move, we're going to talk a little bit about, it's really more about the blood feud between Swerve and Hangman, but I land very nicely with the house call. I think it's very appropriate to land on the house call, considering that Hangman burned that man's house to the ground.
He did.
This past episode of Dynamite. I mean, but it's really more so about blood feuds and just touching base on some of the more personal issues that we've seen between two parties in wrestling. And my guy right here, Chad Law, is going to join me for the little quiz, the 5 pointers and all that. So we'll have a good time. That's going to drop in the morning. I believe that's episode number 22. 21 was the previous. We touched base on the power bomb. Of course, rest in peace to the man, Psycho Sid Vicious, Sid Justice. That popped up out of nowhere for sure. But I got a chance to just, let WWF superstars run in the background while I got back to work this week. And I saw some nice Sid footage. That man getting busy, master the power bomb, ruler of the world and all that. So, but yeah, man, Signature Move is moving. Right now, it's Ringside Club time. Let's go with you, bro.
You know, the first time that I ever saw Sid Vicious was that WCW run. So, like, I had to go back and
the second time he was there, like,
yeah,
2000 era.
The one where he broke his leg was the first time I really watched Sid Vicious. And I was like, I couldn't understand it as a youth, but, like, looking back as an adult, I'm like, yo, they kept fighting the match. What a terrible company they are turning out to be.
What was that match? Who was actually in that match?
Scott Steiner had Sid Vicious on his shit list because he was running through everybody at that era. You know what I'm saying? As you guys might have known, I've been in my WCW 2000 bag. It's where I started. That's currently where I've been going right now as far as a recap. But Sid Vicious and Scott Steiner was the main event, with the Animal being the big reveal as like this is the game changer. This is the hidden assassin. And it was just Road Warrior Animal, just like, yo, I'm here. And the crowd was like completely mild, like just like in awe. And then Sid broke his leg. They kept fighting him, kept stomping him. And eventually he kept beating him with a pipe, I believe. Pause. Pretty sure Scott hit him with the lead pipe and then pinned him. And that was the end of Sid Vicious in WCW, pretty much.
That was pretty much the end of his career. Like, I saw that I think he made a comeback around like 2016, 17, 18, made a couple of indie dates. But for the most part, like, the way that his leg broke, that was pretty much the end. And what I read was that he was already kind of considering like hanging it up anyway. Like, he was already like kind of 1 foot in, 1 foot out at that time. But the severity of that injury kind of sealed the deal for him, you know?
He loved that move because it got a reaction out of people. But also the higher-ups were like, yo, keep doing it. But Sid was just like, I don't know if I should do this.
Yo,
like,
what
I know
was
I'm
he actually going for? What was the move?
He was doing like a high off the rope drop kick. That was his shit. Like a quick little move. You know what I'm saying? Whoever's in the chats want to correct me. But he was getting over like a drop kick from the top rope. And it's like, yo, a guy of that magnitude should not be doing a drop kick off the top rope. And he just went ahead and tried it. And that was the finale. And that was literally the first time I saw who Sid Vicious, Psycho Sid was. And I had to go back from there and realize, like, yo, he had a hell of a run in the WWF. Like, he had great feuds, an early stint in WCW. So, you know, Sid Vicious definitely, like.
Yeah, Sid's WWF run, I didn't see any of the WCW stuff live. I remember WCW, I had the trading cards, and I had a bunch of Sid Vicious trading cards when he had the singlet, like the short singlet, like the Steiners used to wear.
I remember that.
So I saw just still images from the cards and from the magazines, but I remember him from WWF having a few, like specifically with Hogan around like whatever that WrestleMania was. But I really, really remember him when he came in as Shawn Michaels' bodyguard. He came in as Psycho Sid. He was with the $1 Million Corporation for a little bit of time. And then he had the world title, the couple of world title wins. He beat
he beat Brett and Sean. Like he beat Sean once for the title and beat Brett once for the title, which was that's a feather in the cap for sure.
That's a big fucking deal.
Yeah. That's about as big a deal as it possibly gets. That's not in the same night, but it's similar to Chris Jericho being able to lay claim to beating both Stone Cold and The Rock. Like at the time, Sean and Brett were the WWF, you know? This was before Steve Austin's first title run. But the ill thing about Sid is Sid, Brett, Sean, a couple other people were like the forefathers of the Attitude Era before it was actually branded the Attitude Era. Like Vader was in there. Like I remember top of 90, must have been top of 97, right? So Royal Rumble time. Right after that, they had that Final Four where it was like Vader and Brett. Where basically Brett won his 5th title or 4th title somewhere around that time. But they were going nuts. Steve Austin was going nuts. This is right before the submission match, and Sid was right in the mix as far as the attitude and the energy that WWF needed at that time because of what was going on in WCW with the NWO. You know what I mean? So Sid to me is like, you know, if not a forefather, one of the uncles at least of the Attitude Era. You know, and I've never heard anybody give him credit for it, but he definitely, I mean, besides when I mentioned it last week on the Signature Move, but he's definitely up there. But anyway, long story less long. Rest in peace to Psycho Sid for sure.
Definitely, and good timing on that one as well too. Having it this week in wrestling, you know what I'm saying, going down memory lane. If you got one pulled up, take a sip of the spin drink, y'all.
I don't. We can keep it moving. I'll pull something up later.
All right, fuck it. We got Kiki, homie from Twitter, Punk's World. She's gonna be joining us very shortly. It's the RSC episode 103. Make sure y'all like, subscribe, tell a friend to tell a friend. I am Young Gaddafi himself, Chad Law, the current, new, reigning and defending RSC Predictions heavyweight champion. A.O. Baker to my side right here. You know what I mean? We make up 2/3 of the RSC. Just want to make sure y'all just like, subscribe, share, and tell them. You know, tell a friend and tell a friend, man. We see the views going up, see the support. Just want to make sure that we know, you know, we are interactive. We are here. We watch it. If y'all got comments, drop them in the comments. Let them know that you're rocking with the RSC tonight on this Thursday night. I know y'all probably watching football too. I got football on as well. I got football and TNA on. Like, how dedicated am I right now?
Sure, so my man is in the control center. It's in the control. I got everything on, bro.
It's like, yo, I'm watching Nick Nemeth and I'm watching Isaiah Flowers right now. Zay Flowers, you know what I'm saying? Shit is crazy.
It's a crazy combination of names.
Yeah, you know what I mean? Shit, I don't know if you want to talk TNA. You been tapped into TNA lately?
I have not. I haven't really been super duper tapped into much. Like I have a lot going on.
I may have been out the loop. You know what I'm saying? That's why I
got a lot going on. I caught up a little bit with pretty much with Dynamite and I tried to watch a little bit of just catch up what was going on in WWE, specifically Raw. Did I watch Raw? I just know coming out of the pay-per-view, like kind of who's up, who's down, that kind of shit.
I got something for you. How you feel about JBL and TNA having his indie run right now?
I like JBL being active. So what is JBL actually doing? Is he like wrestling or is he a mouthpiece, manager, commissioner? What is he doing right now?
He's a ghostly consultant is what it seems like. You know what I'm saying? He's just floating around from promotion to promotion. It seems to be consulting Nick Nemeth for the most part. So I'm assuming that that's what's going to be happening. I think he doesn't have a contact. I think he has some sort of like no contact in his WWE Legends deal, from what I read online. So, which is strange because he gave Effie a clothesline from hell at the GCW show. So there's that.
That means I can hit you, you can't hit me.
Yeah, basically.
Yeah.
So, you know, he showed up, got a pop for TNA. He's, you know, he showed up in AAA. It's interesting. You know, I'm here for it. You could have never told me in 2004 when I'm watching peak era wrestling guy JBL that like, yo, 10 years, 20 years from now, he's going to have a hell of a run like on the indies. I'm going to be like, man, all right, yo, it's JBL. It's the wrestling guy, but come on, man. But now.
But I mean, if anybody knows how to generate some heat, you know, one way or another, how to generate some heat, JBL is definitely that guy. So
you know what's crazy?
That's what makes it interesting to me is like how under the skin he actually gets of whatever situation he's in.
You know what's wild? I think he's going to be a babyface in this run because Nick Nemeth is babyface. Unless this is them going.
Then he's turning on him.
Which kind of makes me think that this is how Joe Henry gets in the fold, because Joe Henry is quite a few matches away from being a part of a Prepped and Cooked segment. And because I'm loyal and I believe, I'm not going to put him in the Prepped and Cooked. It's coming up later on, but
If it wasn't last episode, it was definitely the previous episode where I said that man is not winning any titles anytime soon. Nor should he.
Yeah, I think if Nick Nemeth does go heel via JBL, then this is how Joe Henry can sneak in and get the TNA World Title at some point. You know what I'm saying? It's the closest it'll get. But I think Nick Nemeth is riding this babyface wave right now. He just had a banger with Josh Alexander. A 60-minute Iron Man match. Really good. Like, really good. It felt like Nemeth, Rollins, Balor, Miz type of vibes, but Josh Alexander really does show up and fucking put on a show. So I think that match, quiet as kept, could be a match of the year contender. Like, so salute to Nick Nemeth and Josh Alexander. Banger of a match. I don't know what happens next with Josh Alexander. I'm waiting for him to show up in NXT at some point, but I think they're just prolonging that. They're not doing that on purpose. You know what I'm saying? They're trying to get Ethan Page over by himself without having to remind everyone about his past history as a tag team wrestler. But, Ethan Page he's doing his thing, man. His theme song is stuck in my head now. Ego. Yeah, shit is wavy. It's Booker T loves it. Me and Booker T kind of wild out when that shit come on, son. Because Booker T just takes it to the next level with his exaggeration and shit. So, but no, that's on the TNA side of things. You know what I'm saying? Got to show some love. Mike Santana is currently in a fucking tumbleweeds and crickets feud with Moose. Say Muse. Moose. I don't know what's to become of Mike Santana and TNA, man.
What's their next big show, TNA?
Good question. I'll look that up. They just had a
Slammiversary already happened?
Yes, it did. Oh, shout out to Zach Wentz winning the X Division title. That was pretty dope. I didn't see that coming. I thought I saw Alexander Hammerstone was going to actually get the X Division title because he's in the division now. So they're keeping him busy with the X Division title, which reminds me of how Brian Cage used to have it back in the division. So I don't mind seeing Alexander Hammerstone in the TNA X Division because it gives him something to do, and it shows that you can defy weight limits within the X Division. Also, Mike Bailey lost again. So there's that.
Did he have the belt for a month?
Yeah, he had the belt.
Was it even a month?
It had to have been one set of tapings for TNA Impact Wrestling, and that belt is off that man already. So
it's crazy.
Yeah, Mike Bailey with some of the worst luck when it comes to a win-loss record in professional wrestling that I can actually say I've witnessed. Like I can name how many Mike Bailey matches, and I can tell you that he didn't win any of them. So it's crazy to see, but yeah, the Rascals are on top right now.
Speaking of TNA, I pulled up a little this week in wrestling. So September 5th, right? A couple interesting things here.
Oh,
specifically,
Lord.
2007, Test is released from TNA Wrestling. He was with the company for a month. I was today years old when I found out that Test was even a part of TNA.
Test
had him being there?
Yes, he had a run in TNA for a bit. Andrew Martin. But the thing is, though, you had so many like meathead type of characters. Like Matt Morgan was over there. They're trying to get over Crimson. Like there was enough.
He was pretty brolic by that point, right?
Yes, and he cut his hair, so like he just looked like Matt Morgan, Crimson, like the other guys that were over there trying to flourish that looked like jacked in size with blonde buzz cut type of hair. You know what I mean? So Andrew Martin, aka Test, kind of just fell to the wayside. It was cool. I remember the time. I was like, "Yo, Test is in TNA." That's when I was like. I mean, Tomko's got a single run going on right now here, so I can't even, you know what I mean? Tyson Tomko. It's the first time you hear a Tyson Tomko reference in the RSC, but he had a TNA single on. You know what I'm saying? So I can't be surprised by Test being there.
Yeah, I had no idea that he was even a part of the company.
Yes.
And then back in 2020, on this very date, All Out. This was 2020, so this was at Daly's place. There were 11 matches on the card. Moxley beat MJF to retain the AEW World Championship. Britt Baker and Big Swole had that tooth and nail match. I think that was in the dentist's office. Orange Cassidy beat Chris Jericho in the Mimosa Mayhem match. I'm going to pull that card up. All Out happened this date, 2020, so 4 years ago.
So this is why
All Out 2020. Let's pull
Okay,
this
this
up.
is why Jericho's going back to his feud with Pockets. Okay.
Yeah, it was All Out time when he had that jacket that he's still bitching about. So here's the results, right? We had a couple of pre-show matches. It was Joey Janela that beat Serpentico.
Remember
Private
that guy?
Party, Private Party beat the Dark Order. That was Alex Reynolds and John Silver.
Remember
So those were
those
the two
guys?
pre-show matches. We talked about Big Swole and Britt Baker. The Young Bucks beat Jurassic Express. That was Jungle Boy and Luchasaurus. Marco Stunt was still in the fold. Lance Archer won the Casino Battle Royale. He eliminated Eddie Kingston to actually win the match. Matt Hardy beat Sammy Guevara in a Broken Rules match. I wonder, was that the match where when Matt Hardy had the concussion, where he fell off the ladder or something like that backstage?
I think that was it.
Yeah, that shit was crazy. That was one of those, and the match continues on. My man was out there dying. He was
Yeah,
dead on his
match
feet.
definitely continued on. Shit was wild. Shit was fucking wild, dogs.
Yeah.
I remember that
Um,
era though. I definitely remember that era. I was there. No, I'm not there physically, but I remember actually watching. Now that you say that card, it's crazy how long we've come from AEW then to now.
I'm looking at some of the names on the roster. So that was Matt Hardy, Guevara, Hikaru Shida beat Thunder Rosa. That was a AEW Women's Championship match.
So she's got a TBS title match this Sunday. Okay, that's cool. Makes sense.
Mm-hmm. 8-man tag match. Matt Cardona. Well, what a combination of names this shit is. Matt Cardona, Scorpio Sky, Dustin Rhodes, and QT Marshall, along with Ali and Brandy Rhodes. Beat the Dark Order, which was Mr. Brody Lee, Colt Cabana, Evil Uno, and Stu Grayson with Anna Jay.
Crazy to say that Dustin Rhodes is still here and the rest aren't. Like, that's wild to think about. You know what I'm saying? Holy shit.
Everybody on Matt Cardona isn't there. Scorpio Sky, I think he's still signed, but who knows? QT Marshall, I think, is still backstage.
The scenes.
He came back. Is Ali still there? That's the bunny, right?
Allie's on hiatus.
All right, she's on hiatus. Brandy Rhodes is out. Rest in peace, Mr. Brody Lee. Colt Cabana is still there backstage. And then Evil Uno and Stu Grayson, I think, are running on Ring of Honor, and then Anna Jay. So like half of the people here, more than half of the people here, is just like not there anymore.
And Dustin Rhodes is a double champion in Ring of Honor.
Dustin Rhodes is a double champ. Wrapping this up, this is AEW All Out 2020. FTR with Tully Blanchard. I remember that era. They beat Kenny Omega and Hangman Page. That was the AEW World Tag Team Championship match. Orange Cassidy beat Chris Jericho in the Mimosa Mayhem match, and Jon Moxley beat MJF with Wardlow at his side. So Wardlow was still running around with MJF around this time.
Remember that guy.
Oh, well.
Wardlow. Yeah, man, I'm looking at AEW just from, like you said, like a perspective of if you're here, I will just enjoy you from there. Like, you know what I'm saying? I can't worry about you not being, present on screen. If you ain't here, if you ain't accountable, I can't even worry about it. So, unfortunately,
that's my attitude in wrestling, period. Like, your contractual obligations and your business, that's your business, man. If you don't want to be there, that's, figure it out, bro.
Shit, we're going to bring in our guest right now. We added to the stage. Kiki, what's poppin'? What up, though?
Can you guys hear me?
Yes, we hear you. Good. You good to go. How you feeling?
I'm feeling good. Thank you for having me.
No, definitely. You know what I'm saying? I see you on Twitter. You know what I mean? That's how I connected with you. Heavy on the wrestling Twitter space. So I was you know what? Let me just call through one of these nights and just bring it through to the RSC so we can talk some good graps. You know what I mean? Take this off Twitter. You know what I mean? I'm sure your followers want to see you and actually be like, oh, shit. You know what I'm saying?
Yeah, they always tell me that I should be, doing like stuff with the writing and stuff. I'm like, no, I'm not that good. I'm just a viewer, I'm just there to watch just like y'all. I just got a couple opinions of mine. They might be good, they might not, but
okay. Now, when you just have your opinions of wrestling, you know what I mean? Like, that's good to know that you're coming from that perspective because, we're coming from that side, but also on the reportive side, you know what I mean? The blogging side of things, like the content space. you seem to be really active with your opinions on Twitter, and your following really grows from it and shows from it. Like whenever you post anything wrestling related, people are always like, "Yo, what's Kiki posting? What's going on with her?" So like, like why do you want to just? I guess you just staying in the content. Like, would you want to cross over to the content space, or you just find just being on the outside? Like, yo, I just enjoy this as a consumer and not as someone who knows about
Um,
dirt sheets and all that extra.
Honestly, I would definitely do it, but I want to do it for the right reasons, and do it like in a way that is accurate and not be like one of those people who's just getting into it just because I can say, oh, yeah, I have a following now, so I'm just going to get into content creation. No, I want to make sure I know exactly what I'm talking about when I get into
Okay.
that space. But I definitely would want to do it. I just, got to get everything right. So,
Okay. That's good to know. Good to know. Where you coming from? Where you based out of? We in the tri-state. We in New York.
California,
Oh
Cali,
shit.
Cali.
West Coast.
You in LA. Alrighty then. Oh, so the time difference ain't too bad right now. The sun is still out by y'all at least.
No, not too bad.
Yeah, you know what I'm saying? That's good. That's good. So right now you join us on we were just finishing up on this week in wrestling where we go down memory lane real quick. We got our all out predictions. We were just talking about all out 2020. It was crazy enough how
Yep.
time flies.
Time flies, man. Pandemic era.
Sidebar, it is Victory Road, September 13th in San Antonio, Texas, is the next TNA exclusive pay-per-view that they're having. So
Got it.
that's what they have coming up. And then Bound for Glory, October 26th in Detroit. So, yeah, we were just talking about TNA as well, too. I don't know if you're tapped into TNA. You know what I mean? If you connected with some TNA wrestling.
Honestly, like the last time I've really been like invested in TNA was when like AJ Styles and like, the
That
James
was a while.
Storms of the world were there. So it was a long time ago. But
It
this
was
new like I guess crossover promotion thing that they have with WWE is really cool. So it's nice to see like different people coming up and getting, time to shine. Like the Joe Hendrys of the world and Jordan Grace. I think it's been a nice promotion to have.
I need Joe Henry to win something. He's got to
Yeah,
win
he's
a.
got to.
It's getting bad. Like, you'll see in the Prepped and Cook segment that
It's
we
getting
do,
bad.
but like, him and Javon Evans are like neck and neck with like not winning. And it's like really upsetting because they're so over and they're so popular. But it's like, yo, they've got time. Give it time. And, that's just what you got to abide by. Give it time. Like, all right, man. Like, they over here just lighting the whole ring on fire and they can't seem to get a win that matters. So,
Yeah.
it is
Devon
definitely
Evans is very impressive, I will say. Like I was watching him on NXT this week and I feel like I'm watching somebody literally float in midair. He literally does not know what gravity is.
He definitely needed that win over Joe Coffey. Like, first of all, I'm glad Joe Coffey did not win because Joe Coffey is just filler. He's the filler mid card guy. So it's like you need a good helping hand. There's always you need a hand wrestlers. Like, yo, this wrestler's going to be there to get you over. Like, Joe Coffey and Gallus are that. So I'm glad Javon did pick up a win. You know what I'm saying? At least that. Because if he would have took a loss again, I'd have threw my arms in the air. I'd have been over it, man. I'd have been so over it. But yes, let's get into our segments. You know what I mean? We got Prepped and Cooked, Champions Watch, and All Out Predictions. That's what we're doing this week. It's another pay-per-view event this Sunday in Chicago. AEW is doing their latest All Out. It's going to be a doozy. You know what I'm saying? I don't know if we want to start with that or we'll do Champions Watch. I kind of want to
Wherever you want to go, bro.
You know what I'm saying? Kiki, if she wants to join back in, she'll join back in. I don't know. There we go. She's good. She's good to go. She's here. All right. So we started with Champions Watch, Kiki. What we do with Champions Watch is we each pick a champion that we've been watching for the past week. We see how they're going with their trajectory, what's to come, and then we just discuss amongst ourselves how we feel about it. So my champion this week are the Raw Tag Team Champions, Judgment Day, a.k.a. Finn Balor and J.D. McDonough, who have not defended the belt in almost 2 months and continue to lose on Monday Night Raw because the Judgment Day always just look like a dork squad. So I personally picked them as my champions of the week because I don't ever talk about them. But I really think that they need to lose those belts to either Jay and Dom, or Jay and Rhea. No, Shit, it could be Jay Rhea. It could be Rhea,
It could be
Rhea
Joe
those
Rhea.
Damien.
those
Honestly,
mix,
Rhea's
yeah,
like a
get those mixed
powerhouse
tag
right
going.
now.
You know what I'm
Shit.
saying? Damien, Jay, a combination of the three need to be the ones to take those tag titles off of those two. And it's got to be soon because it's crazy that there's nobody else in the Raw Tag Team division. I couldn't even find 5 tag teams in the Raw Tag Team division at times to see who's going to compete with them because you look at the Intercontinental division and even in just these like triple threat qualifiers to determine the fatal 4-way qualifier, like it's some heat on Raw in the singles division. So like tag division is just like, yo, dog, what's happening here? Like, where is there a tag team? So I picked them as my champions of the week, not because I hope they have the belts for long, but because I really want spotlight. And from my mouth to God's ears, somebody take those belts off of JD and Finn rather. What's T.I.'s word? Expeditiously?
Expeditiously.
Yes, expeditiously take those tag titles off of them and make them interesting again. What say y'all? Y'all agree or disagree? How y'all feel?
Honestly, I
You gotta keep. Yeah.
Yeah.
Yeah, I agree 100%. Just that stat that you said that they've had the titles for two months. They've had the titles without defending them.
It's I remember the days when like, yo, if you don't defend your belt after 30
In
days,
30 days.
they gotta
done.
vacate,
Yeah.
basically.
30
gotta
days
make-
they strip you of the title. Now you forget people have championships unless they come out to the ring with them.
Yo,
You
dog,
forget they're champions unless you see the belt on their shoulder.
it's insane to me that I'm like, yo, they really just the tag like I feel like they don't even care about the tag team titles. Like, you know how some wrestlers like don't even wear the belt out? Like I feel like I never see them with the belt, like unless it's a match, which they've just
Because
had.
they forgot they were champions too.
You know what I'm saying? So like the storyline is more over than the tag titles, which is rather odd to me. So
No, it feels like both the SmackDown and Raw tag championships are kind of like just accessories. They're not even being used to push any sort of plot, and that's the thing that bothers me. Because you have tag teams sitting there like, Montez and Angelo, and they're doing all this work, and they're not ever getting shots for the championship. So it's like, you might as well just let it be what it is or get rid of them.
you might as well send them to NXT. Like I feel like the Street Profits could go back to NXT and win the tag titles and be just fine right there because I can't see Nathan Frazier and Axiom win those NXT tag titles again and again and again. Like there's got to be other teams. AO doesn't care for the Good Brothers, but yo, the Good Brothers are there, man. Like they could easily be tag team champions, raise a beer in the air, and take over. But it's just the tag team divisions are just so strange in the WWE. I mean, across the company, everyone except TNA got their tag division on fire, but the main two companies' tag division is just in a complete nasty chokehold. So that's how it feels. My champions of the week. Kiki, who you got as your champion of the week?
I'm going to go with the newly crowned World Heavyweight Champion, Gunther. I think he's really coming into his own. Like, a lot of people, like, if you look on social media, they would say, like, they would have problems with how long his Intercontinental Championship reign was. And they immediately, start going into a frenzy after he won the championship, talking about how he's going to have it, for a year and it's never going to get off him. But I think he has come into his own as a performer, and honestly on the mic too, as we saw this week. Like his promos have been really good. I think if you give him the right opponents on a month-to-month basis, different wrestlers, he'll be fine.
Good pick. Very good pick. Good defense. He's beaten Randy Orton. He's about to beat Sammy next, which is crazy. But it's like Sammy does have that win over him, so he's got to get it back. So it's inevitable. I didn't see that coming. I actually thought he would have really just had a feud with Ilya Dragunov for some reason. Like, I'm not crazy about them having a feud because Ilya is on the bottom of the totem pole, but like, as far as a random feud that could work, like Gunther Ilya is like their ace that they're just saving. I feel like anytime they want, like, yeah, we could pull that out the woodwork. But yeah, we can see Bad Blood. What you think is going to happen? Who you think is going to defend it against Sammy or somebody else?
Honestly, I mean, the story fits, with Sammy, since Sammy was the one who took it off him at WrestleMania. So they could honestly run that back, or they could, pick somebody else. But I don't know. I was thinking we were getting Ilya versus Gunther at Bash in Berlin, but they went a completely different direction.
Oh, you was in
which
that
I'm fine
crowd?
with.
You was
Yeah,
in that crowd?
I was
So
in
was I.
that crowd for a few months.
Yeah, so was I. I thought that just would have been the perfect environment for them to just do what they do. Give them 25 minutes to beat the hell out of each other. Replicate every match that they've had in the past. Like some of the best matches I've seen. That NXT UK match that they had over the NXT UK Championship was a classic. They had a classic there, had a classic in proper NXT, I believe. So at some point, sooner rather than later, I think that's going to happen. If it is for a world championship shot, then we just have to heat Ilya up to, kind of make it make sense storyline wise. But anytime you want to put either of those, those two guys in the ring, I'm watching. I'm watching live because
That's a
it's
good
gonna be
one.
fire.
That is
Yeah.
definitely a good one. You got the respect of Randy Orton as well too, so gotta love it. You know what I mean? That's pretty dope. That Orton definitely showed that respect as well. So Gooms is a good pick. Ayo, who you
I was
got?
expecting something weird that left hand handshakes never really go well, but
Not a
it
left hand
ended up all
handshake
right.
type of brother. You know
Yeah,
what I'm
it's,
saying?
it's very pardon my left on
Hard
that
on the left
side,
is
but
not the move. It's just
yeah,
not the move. I guess that's what they do in Austria, Germany. So that's that.
when in Rome, do
Yeah.
as the Romans do.
But in Germany, do what the Germans do.
There you
Ayo, who
go.
you got?
Going with Bryan Danielson. We got a newly crowned world champ as far as Gunther. I'm going with the newly crowned world champ as far as Bryan Danielson on the AEW side, specifically because whatever direction this goes in on Sunday, whatever direction the rest of his reign goes in, this is the last run. This is the last world championship reign for Bryan Danielson. So regardless of how you feel about any of the opponents he may or may not have coming up, take the time out to appreciate him because once it's over, it's over. It's wrapped up, A lot of people thought that Swerve was going to walk out of All In as the champ. Some people thought that Bryan. Some people were proven right. Some people were proven wrong. But regardless, appreciate one of the GOATs, one of the best to ever do it, because once he does lay on the mat for a 3 count, it's wrapped up. So I'm going with Bryan Danielson this week.
Yo, what if he holds the belt for a whole year and just teases that every match is the final match, and it's just like nothing but chaos. I'm like, yo, is Bryan Danielson gonna lose this match? It's been 7 months.
You know what? The drama right there be fire, but he definitely won't be winning any Father of the Year awards. Like, imagine Christian, imagine him in a feud with Christian, and Christian's talking shit because, yo, you said you were going home to your daughter. Now I'm gonna take your title and I'm gonna go to your house to be a better father to your daughter than you ever were. You know what I mean?
Yo,
like,
Christian,
I'm gonna keep the promise for you, bro.
Christian promising to unalive Birdie's pops is gonna be fucking insane when it gets to it. Like, people hate Christian as the number 1 contender, but I love it. I'm here for the instant classic. You know what I'm saying? I don't know how you feel, Kiki, but I'm with Christian Cage and the patriarchy. So like, he's just waiting in the wings, and I can't wait.
I don't know. Christian's been on a good run, Usually you don't see people, still going as hard as he is at this age. And he's just doing whatever he needs to do to keep people invested. So I have no issues.
He's technically lapping Edge. He's lapping Edge at this point, or Adam Copeland. Yeah. It's like legit by this injury.
That bum leg.
Yeah, with that injury, he's lapping him, and there's currently no timetable result for like his return. This is what I just read up on. According to him, he just had the surgery in June, so like he's definitely out for the count for a while, and that's really unfortunate because I'd have loved to have seen Copeland at All In. Like, Metalingus and Wembley would have been ridiculous.
Yeah, Metalingus in front of 50,000 would have been crazy.
Yeah, that's like, okay, this is a big deal, but I'm looking forward.
When did he debut? It was about a year ago, right?
About to be a year. Wrestle Dream last year. Yeah. So hopefully he can make a cameo. You know what I'm saying, on the year anniversary. But yeah, I'm here with the Christian Cage Brigade. I think he's a great number 1 contender, but we've got a lot of number 1 contenders till we get to that point. You know what I'm saying? We still got Darby. We still got Jack Perry. Moxley might be here at some point, but we'll get to all of that as we talk more in depth about AEW when we get to our predictions. That was our Champions Watch segment. Make sure y'all like, subscribe, tell a friend and tell a friend. We are live on YouTube, X, Twitch, all that good stuff. We active here with Kiki, one of the homies from Twitter. Come kick it with us at ringside. We appreciate you, girl. Thank you for showing up on time as well.
Thank you for having me. Appreciate it.
Yes, y'all see everything on the bottom right there. That's all the socials. Y'all can like and subscribe. Right now, we're going to get into Prepped and Cooked. Kiki, that segment, Prepped and Cooked, is what we do weekly. Prepped are wrestlers that are currently on a trajectory for a downfall slide. and cooked is they are done, marinated, sautéed, fried, sizzled. They done for. You know what I mean? I'm a foodie guy, so like I had to incorporate the food in wrestling somehow. So like prepped and cooked work. Like they prepped for some type of disaster and cooked is they are just done for. There's quite a few cooked wrestlers that I'm just repeating at this point now because I try to differentiate different promotions. I try to do AEW one week, WWE. Just I don't want to prep and cook, the same company. You know what I mean? So I try to just at least pick from different ones. And my prepped for this week, I want to make sure I have it right. My prepped wrestler for the week is going to be Ludwig Kaiser. My man can't pick up a victory to save his life right now. He's having a hell of a steamroll right now. He's running through like the pops, the crowd. People love Ludwig Kaiser. But he just isn't getting a win that matters or anything that sticks out. Like the running around the ring thing I think is really clever. I like it. You know what I'm saying? But it's not amounting to anything else other than just I'm the heel and I'm a jobber. And I'm going to try to use jobber less as a term. I know Justin Rose don't want it, but, an enhancement guy. Like, I seen people talk about Gunther Ludwig Kaiser could be at Bad Blood, and I'm just like, I think I'd rather just go with Ilya. And Ilya and Ludwig have the same record as far as wins and losses right now. Credibility, I should say. So, he's prepped. At any week, you can turn around. You can get a W and, get a nice, solid run, but as of lately and this week, Ludwig Kaiser is just prepped for me. What say y'all? Y'all agree or disagree?
Honestly, I agree. I really don't know what his, trajectory is at this point. It just feels like he's kind of being put in matches just to help elevate other people in different stories. So,
and now Giovanni Vinci is actually about to debut in NXT.
Yeah, he's got something going for him.
He got his own gimmick.
I agree with the prep. I mean, look, the most important thing that he's done as of recent was be the ring announcer for Gunther's match with Randy Orton. Right? It's nothing that had anything to do with anything he had going on. It was let me introduce the World Heavyweight Champ, the Ring General. So, enough said. Prep.
I wish they didn't break up Imperium. I think they are the tag team that's needed in that division right now.
It would have made a lot of sense. Like I think everybody kind of expects Gunther to have a dominant world championship reign and a long world championship reign based on his history as the IC champ and the UK champ. Like he had those titles for a very long time.
Correct.
So it would have been pretty cool to, at very least for a limited time, see a dominant faction. You give, Kaiser and what's homie's name? Other name?
Giovanni Vinci.
Giovanni. Yeah.
He kicked his head off. He ain't there no more.
Yeah.
Giovanni
But
Vinci.
if you would have kept them together, have them win the tag title and just have all three of them stand there with the gold for a couple of episodes, couple months, that would have been kind of fire. But I don't know. I don't expect this Giovanni Da Vinci character to really do much anyway. He's prepped before he debuts, as far as I'm concerned.
Nah, real talk. The vignette I thought was a Mexican aristocrat, but then I'm just like, oh, it's Giovanni Vinci. This is totally the wrong nationality. All right. I thought it was like a repackage of like Alberto Del Rio, but the Italian version, essentially. That is who Giovanni Vinci is. He is the new Alberto Del Rio.
Italiano Del Rio in the place
Yes.
to be.
Yes. Giovanni Vinci is the new Alberto Del Rio in the gimmick of he's the Italian aristocrat in NXT, which I feel like, Kiki, you watch NXT, so like I think that'll clash with Tony D'Angelo and the family. Because
It definitely will.
you know what I'm saying?
Two
Like, yo,
similar gimmick.
yes. One just
And Tony
flaunts
D
his
is
money.
kind of elevating right now, so he's got to find his way somewhere.
Tony
because-
D. Tony D was actually going to be on this Prepped and Cooked, but I just couldn't decide where to put him. Like, I didn't want to cook Tony D yet, but like, he could have been a prep candidate as well too, because boy, don't ever get a victory that matters. Like,
He
AO,
wasn't winning against Oba.
no, definitely not.
It was not happening.
AO, he definitely reflects like the message of like, yo, people gotta lose. And it's just like, yo, there's certain niggas that I'm just like, yo, you can't keep losing, man. Like this, like, what else are you gonna do here? Like,
But Barry Horowitz had a very, very long career. So did the Brooklyn Brawler. How many wins did either of those guys pick up? Some people are just here to take the pins, bro.
Tony D, he's another one that could end up as prepped and cooked next week. I'll tell you that much. But I'm gonna go over to my cooked wrestler. He might be a recurring champion here. I know it's been at least a couple of weeks, but Kyle O'Reilly, you are fucking fried, bro. You are done. Kyle O'Reilly is cooked, ladies and gentlemen. He's a recurring character here alongside Pentagon, Lyra Valkyria. Quite a few other names have made the weekly cook list, but I mean, yo, Kyle O'Reilly is down to just get the pinfall. Like, he will be the one to take the finisher, take the pin, take the submission, and prior to, he'll cut a horrendous promo as the backup to Mark Briscoe, who was kind of just rambling at one point last night on Dynamite. And Kyle O'Reilly just mimicked him. And at that point, I said, yo, Kyle O'Reilly has no gimmick. Like, no gimmick to the point that he might actually turn on the conglomerate and join with Roddy and the gang. Like, that's insane to me. Like, you have to add intrigue by doing this, and even then, I think it would still fall flat. So, Kyle O'Reilly is my cooked wrestler of the week. There's no upside to Kyle O'Reilly here, folks. What say y'all? Kiki, Ayo.
Honestly, I can't really give too much of an insight because I haven't really been watching too much of Kyle on AEW. Like, I've really been paying attention to, like, Swerve and Hangman. That's, like, been the main program for me.
Okay.
But I'm going to just say that he benefited more from being in the Undisputed Era, and that is a long time from now. So, yeah, he's essentially on the block to be chopped. I don't know.
Yeah.
I think, like, Kyle O'Reilly is a tag guy, and when he's not in a regular tag team, the last time he did anything really significant as a singles guy was in Ring of Honor before he left to go to NXT. He was world champ there for a little bit of time. And even that was like, by the time he got the title, a lot of people felt that it came a little late in as far as his run in Ring of Honor. But the best of Kyle O'Reilly has really been Red Dragon, Undisputed Era, you know, part of the group, part of the specifically a tag team. And he's not part of a tag team right now. And even though he's part of the conglomerate, that group doesn't really move together with any real purpose that would serve what he's doing from bell to bell. They're just kind of doing shit. They're fighting battles.
Yo, that
it's like
conglomerate is like, it's like Suicide.
Party.
It's like Suicide Squad. Like, just a bunch of random misfits thrown together for the sake of
100%. Yeah, they're randomly thrown together, but they're also just kind of not doing anything that really serves Kyle O'Reilly. You know what I mean? Like, he's just out there making the save and then getting hit in the face with somebody else. Like, it's nothing really. There's no purpose or direction for Kyle O'Reilly right now. And until he links up with somebody who's going to be a regular tag team partner for him, I kind of think this is just his role. Like, we'll see him stand off across from the ring with other people that are like, damn, I would love to see that match, and then we'll see it, and that'll be that. He'll take the L, and then we'll go on to the next segment.
This guy's Mike Bailey of AEW.
And Mike Bailey versus Kyle O'Reilly would be a dope match. Who actually takes the L there, though? You know what I'm saying? Who takes the L? I think Mike Bailey might take the win, bro.
I think it's safe to say that A.O. Baker will not be doing a signature move on Kyle O'Reilly anytime soon.
Nah, he's got nothing going on, man. There's no interest in feud, you know. And it's just like, I'm a fan of Kyle O'Reilly, bell to bell. It's just when there's nothing to actually sink my teeth into as far as what he's doing direction wise, it's kind of rough. He's not even picking up random good wins. He's just losing randomly. He's randomly losing. You know?
He's the one taking the pin in the multi-man tags. Like, he's the guy losing. Like, Pockets and Briscoe ain't the ones taking the pin. Ishii could take the pin, but Ishii ain't always on deck, so that just leaves Kyle O'Reilly there to just eat defeat, which I think will lead to him turning on the conglomerate, which will be his spark for, like, wrestling.
When that does happen, we'll see him link up with somebody regularly, whether it be Roderick Strong. They'll probably put him and Roderick Strong back together.
Or maybe he could just join the learning tree.
All right, next segment, bro.
You know what I mean? Ain't nothing wrong with the learning tree.
Now that's a death wish right there.
You know what I
Learning
mean?
tree, taking souls and taking
Learning
careers
tree.
at this point.
It's the highest rated segment, y'all. Come on, man. Don't hate. It's the learning
I don't
shit.
care. Anything is the highest rating segment everywhere except for in my house.
Hi, guys. It's fucking brilliant, man. Long live Jericho. And now he's rehashing a feud with Pockets from fucking 5 years ago. That's how you know he's like, yo, I'm not going anywhere. As a matter of fact, I'm going to do all my old feuds from early AEW again for you guys. Play the greatest hits. Like, I love it. I love how ignorant he is in everybody's faces with this shit. You can't beat him, join him. That's how I feel about it. You know what I mean? But All Out 2024 is here. It's our next batch of pay-per-views. Should be it for a while. We've gotten a lot of pay-per-views these past couple weeks, which I enjoyed. I definitely enjoyed the influx. Kiki, how you feel about pay-per-views during the daytime as opposed to night?
I think it just depends really like on how you monitor your day and like what you're doing. Like if you're working, it could be like a positive, sometimes depending on the time. Like if you're working early in the day, you might not like it, but honestly, I've liked some of the daytime pay-per-views. Now, Elimination Chamber 2024, that was rough. Okay, I stayed up until 2 in the morning.
I remember your tweets. Yeah, you was active.
That was too much. But no, like I feel like it just depends on your work schedule and like how you feel about getting up at certain times and changing up your routine with it. But it's not that bad, I feel like foreigners should get the opportunity to watch these things at a regular time. Sometimes, it's not a bad thing. We get stuff all the time, so it's nothing to complain about.
I love the midday PLEs. Like,
yeah,
more midday PLEs, please. You know what I'm saying? Like, the nighttime pay-per-views just ain't hitting like they used to. I need a good 12 o'clock noon, 1 o'clock p.m. Eastern Standard Time pay-per-view to enjoy. You know what I mean? Get through the day. I love it.
Right, you can watch it and then you can do whatever you need to do afterwards. So I like it, honestly.
I'm rocking with it. So we got All Out in Chicago. It's going down right now. We're going to pull this card up. I'm defending my predictions championship that I just won back. I hope I don't lose this. Kiki, the rules are if you are the predictions champion at the end of the tally, you must come back at the next Ringside Club recording to defend the predictions championship.
All right, I don't have a problem with that. My predictions might not be too crazy, though, but we'll see.
All right, that's fine. You know what I mean? It's good to know I can keep my title. I got a better chance. Sounds like you ain't watching too much AEW, so that's good. You and AO are both out the loop. Let's see. AEW All Out. Let's pull this card up.
It's not too many matches announced so far. What is it? About 8, right? 7?
Yeah, you know how the last minute joint gonna go. You're gonna see some shit added on Collision at the bottom of the fucking meter.
And actually, it's a Saturday pay-per-view, so that means we have Collision, Rampage, all of that is on Friday. Well, that's tomorrow.
This is a Saturday pay-per-view? Yes, it is. This is on Saturday. This is a Saturday show. Wow.
Yeah, so Collision and Rampage are live tomorrow. It's like a 4-hour block tomorrow. We got a pay-per-view tomorrow, basically.
That's a lot of AEW product, but they got to get these wrestlers out of here, man. They got to be used. They have got to be used. So let me write this down. All Out predictions. Ayo and Kiki. Cool. So I guess we'll start with Willow Nightingale, Chris Statlander. Chicago Street Fight for the CMLL Women's Championship. I hope I'm saying that right.
I heard, by the way, before we even continue with that it's an unsanctioned match, so it's not for that championship anymore. So they will have a match, but it won't be for the CMLL championship. So it's not a title match.
Oh, so there's 2 unsanctioned matches on this card. This match means that there's going to be a rubber match or another match, pretty much, for the title. Because Statlander, didn't she win the right to challenge for the belt amongst all of this?
It's something along the lines that what I basically heard was CMLL wants Willow, when she does drop the championship, to drop it instead of Statlander dropping it to somebody, just because more people kind of know Willow. So they want to think it's a bigger match when she actually drops it to somebody from CMLL.
Which makes all the sense in the world. So it just means that we're going to continue on with this feud and they'll never leave each other's side. So
which I like. Like I typically enjoy Willow versus Stat. You know what I mean?
I personally think they should go in separate ways, and they should be in the other divisions, because currently the women's division is flailing right now, or at least on the main women's title, because it's not even on the actual card at all. So, yeah, I think Willow could benefit from being in the main title picture at some point. So I think the trek starts here, and I think Willow. Well, she did win. Damn, this is tough. She did win in London. It's not for the title. I'm going to go Statlander. I think Stat wins this match. I don't like the decision, but logically it just makes the most sense. Because if Willow beats Stat, like, she's really fried. Like, she's got to be done here. Like, enough with this feud if she beats you. Non-title. You know what I'm saying? So, Kiki, who you got? Stat or Willow?
I'm gonna have to agree with that. I'm gonna go Chris, just because it's not a sanctioned match. So Willow can afford to take a loss if it's not for the title. So I'm just gonna go Chris Statlander.
I'm going Willow. I'm going Willow for point purposes, but also I think that Willow has a little momentum. I think, like, because this is not ending anytime soon, I think that they're going to trade wins back and forth with or without the championship. You know what I mean? So even though she's the champion right now, I think she's going to take an L at some point from Stat. It'll just be in a different type of match. You know what I mean? Like, but yeah, I think, like, because they're probably going to face each other right around Grand Slam time too, because they're both from New York.
You did. That's a good one. You're right. Don't got to wait for Wrestle Dream. Okay.
Yeah.
Okay, I see the vision.
But yeah, I'm going with Willow for points.
Which is crazy though, because I'm like, if Willow wins, like, she's really like buried just Statlander in this feud. Like, yo, shorty, you got to get to the back of the line. Like,
just depends on how it happens.
Welcome.
Depends on how it happens.
New challenge is welcome for Willow Nightingale. Next up, we have. I'll go with the tag team titles for the AEW tag team match for the AEW World Tag Team Championships. The Young Bucks defend against Blackpool Combat Club, the AEW Trios champions, Claudio Castagnoli and Wheeler Useless. So, essentially, Claudio, Pac, and Wheeler won the Trios titles from Trios champions that were actually popping in a division that actually is kind of thriving, because there's actual trios, to demand a last-minute tag team title match that chances are they aren't going to win, because there's no way that they'll be double champions in AEW. Like, it's essentially what's happening here. I'm going Bucks. It's an easy win because the Bucks have only defended their titles but so many times. And Wheeler is there to take the pinfall as he always does. Kiki, who you got?
I'm taking the Bucks too. I don't think they're giving up those titles for a while.
Which is unfortunate.
I was like, yeah. I feel like they can go in different directions with one of this stuff, but they're not giving those titles up for a while.
Hey, how you feeling?
Clean sweep. Bucks are taking that for sure. Like, I'm not even sure who
booked the match.
Yeah, it's
Claudio.
a tough one.
Claudio technically did.
Yeah, he challenged them, but like there was more fire from the Young Bucks yelling at Bryan Danielson and the Blackpool Combat Club to explain that we'll do anything to make sure that Jack Perry wins the world championship. There was more fire coming from them about that than it was about their own match. Like, oh, you want a match? All right, cool. You know what I mean? So that means that they're not worried about losing that championship, because they're not.
Rightfully so.
Bucks clean sweep.
All right. We are going to go International Championship, Will Ospreay versus the Bastard Pac. This is Ospreay. Wouldn't doubt this at all. This is where it's like still pretty easy to call. It'll be a good match. That's about it. I think it'll be like I don't see us being like, yo, what was that one? I mean, it's Will Ospreay. It could be. I hated selling sometimes, but I think this could be a really strong match of the night, a sleeper match of the night, if you will. Crazy to say that about a Will Ospreay match, but I think it'll be a sleeper. Ospreay retains. That's it. Like Pac and Claudio and Wheeler can go back to the trios division, and then we can get Ospreay and Ricochet for Wrestle Kingdom, Wrestle Dream, because that would be a Wrestle Dream, right? Is Will Ospreay versus Ricochet?
Yeah.
So there we go. I'm taking that. Kiki, what you got?
I'm taking Osprey too. I just think he has way too much, ahead of him in terms of other bigger feuds, and Ricochet just got there, so I think they want to do something with that. So Pac is just going to be another stepping stone.
Yeah, I'm going Osprey as well, but I'll disagree in the sense that I don't think this is going to be a sleeper at all. I think as far as matchups go that don't have any stipulations, this is going to steal the show. It's not going to steal the show because of the nature of the steel cage, unsanctioned lights out match and different things.
You're right.
But if there's anybody that's up to par with Will Ospreay, Pac is one of those guys. As far as athleticism, as far as being able to hit power moves and then jump and meet. I was looking the other day yesterday, watching Dynamite, and just the quickness from one move to the next, the footwork that both of those guys have. When now they're able to focus on in a one-on-one match, that's going to be fire. Give them a good 20 minutes, however much time they get. They're going to do everything.
You know what, Ayo? I'm used to the fully loaded AEW pay-per-views where it's like, this match going to be a banger. This match going to be a banger. This match can get lost, but it's going to be a banger. But the more I look at this all-out card, I'm like, yeah, you're right. That's definitely going to be the one. That's going to be the one. Definitely the match.
They're going to go crazy.
Yeah, definitely match of the night. Because MJF versus Daniel Garcia, I do not imagine to be the match of the night, although it could be the sleeper match of the night. I wasn't crazy about their promo battle back and forth. I think Garcia just looks so undersized. But at the same time, I really think he could afford the win here. Like, he needs that win. Like, MJF could afford a loss, and Garcia can afford a win. He needs it badly. Either that, or he's just going to, head off to NXT next. And I don't think that's going to happen. I think he's very much so tailor-made for AEW. If there's a guy I don't want to jump ship, it's Daniel Garcia. I wish he would bulk up a little bit more and look a little bit more credible, like a threat, as opposed to just him and Jack Perry look like, angry, flailing guys. But
wacky inflatable.
Yeah, they look like Bailey buddies. Like Jack Perry and Garcia together look like Bailey buddies to me. That's why I just be like, I can't take this shit serious. Like Darby, it took me a while to become, king of the Darby Allin fan club, but like, that's the only guy I feel like is so believable in that role. But Daniel Garcia, MJF will be a sleeper. Definitely a sleeper match. I'm going to go with Garcia for the victory because he needs it. He got laid out on Dynamite, and he needs a victory back. Especially if you just signed a new contract. It's the least you could do is win. Kiki, what you thinking?
I want to say Garcia, but I feel like because MJF just is such a big star within AEW, it feels like he can't really take too many losses. But I don't know. I'm going to go with MJF. I just think he has that upper hand.
MJF, okay. Hey, how you feeling?
I'm going Garcia just because I want to see like the direct. First of all, I think like Garcia coming back to immediately take a loss is not the
AEW is right on brand.
That's not the move for him. But I also think it's really interesting to see how MJF reacts to taking losses at 2 straight pay-per-views. Like, that's interesting to me.
Him spiraling.
Like what does MJF look like on a losing streak? That's interesting to me.
Him spiraling out of control, I like that. Like, that's kind of why I'm like, maybe he could get away with taking this loss here to Garcia and having that feel-good moment for the crowd for Garcia especially to have. Because I don't think Garcia is going to be in any major title contention anytime soon after this. I think he'll just go back to Collision. But after that, I think it'll be a good moment for the photo op perspective and for the Twitter virality. I think it'll be nice.
But also, like, this is what I was saying some months back when it was like, oh, it seems like this is kind of random. What they're doing with Daniel Garcia, and I think, he re-signed and all of that, is let's see Daniel Garcia in programs with main event caliber guys. MJF is a former world champ main event guy. He's in the top tier of the company. Now we're elevating Daniel Garcia by putting him in a program with MJF. You know, so I think he's going to beat him. But even if he does take a loss, it turns into how did he actually lose? Because you know MJF is
Right.
going to cheat. It's probably going to be a ring or somebody. You know, we haven't seen MJF linked up with anybody in quite some time either. You know, so I wouldn't be surprised if at some point between now and the end of the year we see somebody pop back up. Like I would not be surprised to see Wardlow link back up with MJF. You know, come crawling back, hands and knees, like you were right all along. Blah blah blah. You know what I mean? Just to throw another foil in the way of Daniel Garcia. But end of the day, like yeah, I think Garcia takes the win, just to see like what MJF looks like spiraling.
MJF spirals and Garcia goes off into a feud with the Learning Tree. I think that's how Daniel Garcia's 2024 goes. Is a nice, warm Chris Jericho feud to vortex himself into for the rest of the year because that was inevitable. Don't think that Jericho forgot because if he didn't forget about pockets in that jacket, you think he's gonna forget about Daniel Garcia when he's done with MJF? Just know I called it here at the RSC, y'all. When y'all seeing Danny Garcia versus Chris Jericho 3 times in a row to end this year, this calendar year, just remember where you heard it first. You know what I mean? So we going with Garcia, me and AO. Kiki's going MJF. Next up, Kazuchika Okada defending the AEW Continental Championship versus 3 men that are to be determined. Which I'm just going to go ahead and say it's not a spoiler. I didn't see any spoilers. Well, you said Collision and Rampage airing live, right?
Yeah, they're both going to be live tomorrow.
Okay, so I think that the 3 men will be Takeshita, Mark Briscoe, and Pockets. I think the 3 of them will be the men that Okada has to face in that 4-way. I like that Okada has to defend his belt finally for a change. This is just a good tune-up to get us to the C2 season. Finally, where Okada can prove himself and shut the naysayers down and not look like a broken down old man. You know what I'm saying? We're going to actually see Okada get in his bag. And I think this match will be good too. This could be a sleeper right here because of the name you mentioned. Takeshita and Okada, that's a Continental Classic finale I see happening. Like, I could see that. Them 2 in different blocks. Takeshita Okada, it's a banger right there. But I think Okada retains because it's his tournament to run through as the champion. I can't see Okada losing that belt anytime before then. And he's the longest reigning champion, technically, in the belt's history. It's only been 2 champions. Okada is the second.
Who did he wrestle yesterday?
He wrestled Kyle Fletcher. And
Tragic.
Kyle Fletcher is always on a prepped and cooked, so I try to not keep him on a prepped and cooked. But it's getting tough, man. That boy don't win. But he's going to look good getting over, though. I tell you that much. He had more reaction, I feel like, in his match with Okada than the entire Daniel Garcia MJF segment. I think there was more excitement for Kyle Fletcher and his maneuvers than that whole opening segment to me, which is crazy. But Kyle Fletcher's getting over it. It's just so weird that he's in a babyface faction. No, he's in a heel faction as the babyface. Like, super strange to me. But I'm going Okada. Okada with the retention. I think he pins Orange Cassidy. I think that's how it'll go. Because Mark Briscoe is the Ring of Honor champion. He can't lose. And Takeshita and Okada is waiting to happen. You can't just spoil that already. Orange Cassidy can afford a loss. So I think he eats the pinfall. Kiki, what you got?
I'm gonna go with Okada too. You said like basically this is like his first defense in a while, so there's no reason to pull the title off of him right now, especially if you want him to look a certain type of way, look good. I'm just gonna go with Okada.
Yeah, how you feeling?
Clean sweep, Okada. Like again, Okada is not losing that championship at all until we get to the Continental Classic, and he might not even lose that. You know, like there was a segment on Dynamite some time ago, backstage interview where he said, "I'm the greatest tournament wrestler of all time," because he's won the G1, New Japan G1 4 times, right? I'm the greatest. And so a lot of the people that are talking Okada's wash, Okada's doing the comedy act, I'm like, bro, he's chilling. When it comes tournament time, Continental Classic, all that shit goes out of the window. You know what I mean? You're going to see like Kazuchika Okada, Rainmaker get busy. I enjoy his act. It's hit or miss depending on who you talk to. But you see that he got busy with Kyle Fletcher the other day. So all of those reports of this guy being washed, if you have eyes, you saw him get busy just yesterday. It's going to be a lot of action. It's a 4-way match. We already know the directions that 4-way matches go in. There's a lot going on at one time.
It is.
But those standoffs with Takeshita, that's the money. Like, that's a big matchup that a lot of people have been waiting to see. You know, the old guard of the Japanese world, the current guy on the way up, who also just had an amazing showing in this year's
G1.
Right. So that's the money. Like, we've seen Orange Cassidy and Okada before. They were members of the same faction, the Chaos. We already know what time that is. And Mark Briscoe is just, again, the conglomeration is just floating. So Mark Briscoe is just doing whatever.
Mark Briscoe should be a top 10 babyface in AEW in the main event scene at any given time. And I bite for Mark Briscoe to get that shine, man. One of these days, yo.
I honestly think, and maybe it's less think and just hope, that whatever the next batch of deals are includes Ring of Honor, and it puts Ring of Honor on a stage, and this will all just be a holding pattern for Mark Briscoe by the time we get to that point. I hope, because him walking out with the championship but then competing for other titles just makes zero sense. Like, why do you want that title? Yeah, why do you want this title more than defending the one that you already have? You know, but anyway. That being said, I think we got a clean sweep here. Okada for the win.
Next up, the TBS Championship is a singles match. Mercedes Moné defends against Hikaru Shida, who is actually on the anniversary of having a title match at All Out. You know what I'm saying? As we pointed out earlier in the episode. I find it funny that Deonna Purrazzo has this is my redemption story. I'm here to return and dominate the division, but she's got an impending loss to Hikaru Shida the night before Shida's TBS title match. So Deonna Purrazzo essentially could be prepped and cooked any of these episodes as well, too. She's fucking fried. Shida could be, too. But Shida's just a good hand. She's one of those wrestlers that fall into she's just a good help. So I think even though Mercedes has fairly easily beaten Shida already for free on television, this is going to be yet another loss in Shida's win-loss column, I should say, as Mercedes wins. I mean, Mercedes wins. No Camille. So Mercedes is going to either do a roll-up or just hit a good, whatever her finisher is. It looks like she's throwing a pillow on a bed. The Moneymaker. Yeah, I'm going to go with that. And then I think her next feud pops up after that, which is Britt Baker. Again.
I don't want to see that.
Again.
The
I think that's where we
go.
go.
Was painful enough. No thank
Yeah,
you.
that should be one and done.
I would love for it to be one and done, but it just seems too quiet to be a one and done. Mercedes has literally no competition besides Willow, who's busy, and DMD, who's just going to come back and be like, nah, I need another title shot. Fuck you mean? Like, that's it. You know what I'm
I
saying?
don't know if I could do that again.
Kiki, what you
was
got?
Painful.
Who you
I'm
going
gonna
with?
take Mercedes. She's
Mercedes.
been quiet, dominant, but dominant no less. You know, ever since she stepped in here. So I think she's gonna retain. It'll probably be a good match though.
It'll be a good match. I think Sheeta definitely is going to bring it out of Mercedes. Ayo, how you feeling?
Mercedes. I think this is a showcase match. I was listening to somebody say, just since like Mercedes has been in, we're kind of looking for like that marquee match, right? Since she's been to AEW, she's had a lot of solid matches, a lot of really, really good matches. Britt Baker match notwithstanding, but the common denominator in every Mercedes Moné match is that Mercedes Moné really does get busy, and that just was like the anomaly. But this has the potential to me. Again, we're talking about like some matches that could be sleepers, that could be matches of the night. This is one of those because of the caliber of Hikaru Shida and Mercedes Moné. Like Hikaru Shida has been called the ace a lot longer than she's been calling herself the ace of that division.
Three-time women's champ.
Not only three-time women's champ, but she is the woman who a lot of other women have had their best match against. So, and Mercedes can say the same thing, going all the way back to the Sasha Banks days. So you put those two together, you give them enough time, and you take out the outside interference. Unless there's a swerve that we don't see coming, this seems like a just straight up one-on-one match. Let's get busy, give them time, 15, 20, and, go balls to the wall, so to speak. So I'm going with Mercedes Moné to take the win, but I think this is another one of those opportunities for Hikaru Shida to give her opponent the best match that they've had in the company. So I'm looking forward to this one for sure.
All right, that's it. Next up, singles match for the AEW World Title: Bryan Danielson, Jack Perry. What a filler! What a filler match this would be. I'm going Bryan Danielson because why would Jack Perry be a double champion in All Elite Wrestling, right? Why not just have the TNT champion just take a loss on pay-per-view? Because fuck that, though. You know what I'm saying? Bryan gets a good win, and then we go on to Bryan Danielson versus King Darby at Arthur Ashe. It's the real money maker right there. It's the one I'm looking forward to. Kiki, how you feeling?
I'm gonna go with Bryan too. I feel like they're kind of just putting Jack in that spot because they're gonna be in Chicago. That CM Punk thing. They have been itching at it for a long time.
They rock with the nigga though. They actually be cheering for Jack Perry in Chicago, which I feel like is the opposite of what they think is going to happen. It's not gonna be like, I don't know. It's just the crux of them like still going off of a nigga that's been a year removed from the company is just so strange to me. Like, it's just so peculiar. Like, it
I
doesn't
don't have any
work.
problems with him, though, Jack has been doing a good job. You can feel how you want about him, but he's been doing a good job with what they're giving him. He's doing a good job at being hated, and that's what you want him to do. So, it'll be a nice little filler match, but they're definitely doing it because they're in Chicago. So,
Kiki, you look like you could beat Jack Perry for the TNT Championship.
No, don't put that on me.
He's just not believable. It just looks like the Bailey buddy to me. Like, you know what I'm saying? Like, it just looks so unrealistic when I see him throwing those T-Rex arms at Bryan Danielson, like trying to fight him. It's like, yo, dog, I'm not buying this. So it's like, I'm not buying Jack Perry, and I just know that Bryan Danielson's gonna kick his fucking head in. That is what I'm most excited to see. And the TNT title get taken off of Jack Perry later on down the line when he actually defends it. So we got 2 for Bryan. AL, how you feeling?
Yeah, Bryan's winning this.
Okay.
No
Thought somebody said Jack Perry. You know what I'm saying? Through the curveball.
Nah. Not that much of a curveball. For point purposes, not even. This match is happening not only because it's in Chicago, but because we have Swerve versus Hangman, which title or no title is the main event. Like, you're not gonna put another like super duper well built world championship program that's going to get overshadowed with a new champ. Like, he just won the title 2 weeks ago, so there wasn't enough time to actually put something crazy together in the first place as far as build and storyline wise. But it's gonna be a good match. And the reality of Jack Perry is that he will one day be a world champion in AEW. It's not gonna happen on Saturday, but he's been built from the beginning of his time in that company to be one of the guys that they don't call him a pillar for no reason.
But before Sammy Guevara, shit crazy.
Sammy Guevara's doing his thing in Ring of Honor. He's got titles too, But I think, like, if you look at reaction wise, Sammy, out of that group, Sammy's the one that gets the least reaction from the crowd. Like, nobody's clamoring like, yo, when is Sammy coming back? It's like, but Darby gets his reactions, Jack Perry gets his reactions. So yeah, they're definitely doing this because he knows how to work that crowd, man. As far as heel work, he's come into his own, and it's been more about just the entrance and the waving of the hands and everybody singing a song that was out before he was born. Now it's not even about who his father was. It's not about Jurassic Express. It's about, we really don't like Jack Perry, so we're going to boo him. And he's doing a good job of generating that reaction. He's going to take the L, but it's going to be a good match.
In our main event, unsanctioned lights out steel cage match. Holy shit, that was a lot. Swerve Strickland fights Hangman Adam Page. This is tough, but not so tough. I think Hangman wins because he needs a win. And him just popping up on Dynamite going, see, I told you guys I could beat him. That is the type of Hangman I want to see. He's unhinged. He's drinking again. He's burning houses down, whether it's CGI or not. He's going crazy. Why is it 7 p.m. in Washington and it's just dark? Kiki, you on the West Coast. Does it get dark that late?
Not lately, because daylight savings times, like it usually stays pretty light out until like 8 o'clock, maybe late into 8:30ish. So
That's kind of some of the
it's
little
light.
things that took last night's segment out for me. I'm like, yo, it ain't even that dark out, my nigga. Like, come on, man. Like, this ain't pitch black.
You still
Like,
have the moment though.
you know what? I'm a little stickler of saying that I wish they would have given us Swerve's whole house being bought thing a week prior, so people had a reason to care about this, as opposed to just, oh, hey,
Yeah. Oh, this is my house.
Swerve's house. This is his house.
Right.
Burnt down an hour later. Like, that to me is like, you didn't really, you know what I mean? Like, this was just Russian shit. Like, giving me some time, because Swerve announced that contract like 2 weeks ago, right? Like, right around All In. So, do that whole segment
But
last
think
night.
about it. But think about it though. In real life, you sign that contract, then the wire has to hit, and if you've gone through any kind of purchasing of a home, that shit don't. That's not going. You can't go to Target and buy a house. You know what I mean?
Hey, that house get burned down. It's done. It's
Yeah,
done.
like
You might
that
as well
takes a
claim
little
it.
time for that paperwork to clear for him to actually get the keys. So that makes sense to me.
All right, so let's say that's the reason why it took 2 weeks, because you had to, clear the bills and the wires.
Lawyers got a lawyer, bro.
Lawyer and the paperwork. Yeah, let's say that was the case, right? But like, the house just seems so. I need to know the backstory of it, because it's fucking me up. I really thought it was CGI, because it's like he's just so. It's like a movie villain. It was dope how he didn't flinch, like anything. The table's on fire. He's drinking whiskey out of a fucking, a swig. Like, I'm just like, is it real? Is it not? And I think that's like the production side of me that's like fucked up by it. I'm like, did he really do this? I know Tony Khan can pull it off, but like,
Just enjoy this shit, bro. Jet life to the next life. You just gotta go with it, man.
too analytical. You know what I'm saying?
Just gotta go with it. The Undertaker was dead, bro. What do you mean?
Yeah, you're right. He got buried alive. You're right. On multiple occasions and came back. So you're right. We just watched Hangman commit arson. Right on live TV, nigga burnt the whole crib down. Shit was crazy. But in a feud where there's been breaking and entering, stalking of children and families, houses getting burnt down, you gotta just suspend disbelief with these two at this point.
This ain't too far from Power. You know what I'm saying? This is a 50 Cent program, dog.
Yo, Tariq could damn near walk Swerve out to the ring at
Yeah.
fucking All Out. You know what I'm saying?
Come on, this is Ghost. Tariq is all that, dog. Like, what are we talking about?
Tommy gonna be by Hangman's side.
Tommy the special guest ref, man.
This is right in time for the season finale, for the series finale. You know what I'm saying? This wouldn't surprise me.
Monet, not Mercedes, but Power Monet. She gonna sing the national anthem before they turn the lights out and turn it back on.
Mercedes Tejada singing the national anthem and introduced as Mercedes Tejada though. Like, it's not Mary J. Blige.
It's not even Mary
Introducing.
J. Blige.
Introducing Monet Tejada. Niggas be like, yo, what the fuck is going on right now? Oh, but yes, Kiki, who you got? Who you got taking this victory? I got Hangman.
Yeah, I'm gonna take Hangman too, but I think the match is really gonna be, like kind of hard hitting, like how their last match was. Just because they have so much bad blood between each other.
Right.
Burn his house down. Swerve stalked his kids, women in his house, and all that. They're gonna put on a good match, but I think Hangman's gonna take it.
A bloodbath, if you will.
Mm-hmm. I
Yeah.
don't want to see no drinking blood again, though.
That was OD.
was-
That was
I
good
think
luck.
we're gonna see it. I
Put
think it's
turns
tough.
up.
Yeah, I think it's tough to do that and then do less than that. Like, once you've gone to that level,
Shoot.
they're going above.
I don't even know. They gotta
They're
do
going
something
above.
different at least.
Oh,
Somebody-
There's gonna be blood though.
Yeah, there's gonna be somebody's
There
bleeding in
will
the first
be
4 minutes. Like
There
right
will
off the bell ringing, somebody's it's over.
Barbed
I'm going
wire,
Swerve.
bat, all that. Swerve, you say?
I'm going Swerve. I don't think this is ending anytime soon, and I think Swerve being able to hold over Hangman's head, that I've beaten
That's
you
fine.
all these times, and you said I couldn't beat you one-on-one, and I just did that. You know, I think like, and then because we've seen like the spiral of Hangman, he's gonna continue to justify in his brain why he deserves a rematch or he should get back at Swerve. You know, like he's gonna
But where
continue
does
to.
Hangman go after that, though? That's
Who
so.
cares? That's up to the creative people to figure out. What I'm saying is the interesting thing to me is Hangman Page still trying to justify like why he's better than Swerve after losing to him like 4 matches straight. Because he's
All
gonna
right.
he's gonna continue to do crazier and crazier shit.
I agree.
And like the feud, I don't think the feud ends just because they have a cage match. You know,
Sounds-
like they have a few more of these, you know, under their thumb before they give each other a break. Right? We're gonna get to a point, matter of fact, where Swerve is ready to go back after that world championship, and Hangman is gonna continue. He's gonna cost him his shot
Definitely
before
is.
he even gets to the world title match. He's gonna cost him whatever the qualifier is. There's gonna be battle royals. Maybe both of these guys are in the C2 in the Continental Classic. Like there's a lot of like meat left on the bone here for this feud, you know. But I just think like Swerve being able to hold over Hangman's head that bro, you really can't beat me is interesting as hell. And we know that Hangman doesn't get hurt by this. Hangman is one of the main characters in AEW, period.
He
So
does.
he ain't going anywhere.
That's fair.
I'm going with Swerve.
5-pointer. What match opens the show? I am going to say that MJF and Daniel Bryan. Oh, I said Daniel Bryan.
Garcia.
Yeah. Open the show. Kiki, what you got?
I'm gonna agree. I think they need something to like, wake the crowd up to get them started for the entirety of the show. I'm not gonna go with something that's gonna put them asleep right away. So,
Hey,
MJF Garcia.
While I do agree with that for point purposes, I'm going with Pac versus Will Ospreay.
Pac and
That's actually a good argument. Like they're
Okay.
gonna deliver.
Yeah.
Okay, that's a good one. Now, the last 5-pointer, I'm going to go with, do we get a debut from anyone? I'm going to say no. Kiki, who you got?
I'm gonna say no. I honestly don't even know who's out there to really debut for a company right now. Who's been
Okay.
signed recently?
Okay. Ayo?
Yeah, I agree. Like I don't know. I don't recall anybody being out there as far as like rumored to be going over to AEW. I will say maybe not a debut, but a return. Like I brought him up earlier. I brought up Wardlow just
I like
because
that.
he's been super duper quiet and because MJF is MJF and he's always going to look for some kind of way to win other than just beating his opponent.
Okay, so do we get a debut or a return from anyone? Have to have been off TV for a while.
I'll go and throw out Wardlow right there. I'll say
So
we get
yes.
Wardlow coming back on behalf of MJF.
Yes, return from Ayo. All right.
It's probably not going to happen just because I said it, but I'm going with it.
That works. And that's episode 103, y'all. The almighty RSC. Kiki, thank
you
you
guys
for
for having
girl.
me.
We
Of
appreciate you.
course, of course. Anytime the door is open, appreciate you
You know
for
what I'm
coming
saying?
through.
You want to let them know what
Keep
Twitter
doing
handles,
y'all thing,
everything?
though. Seriously, you guys are great. I like that you don't, stick to just one company. You mix it up and you truly know what you're talking about.
Hell
I
yeah.
like that.
Thank you. I appreciate that.
They all watching, you know what I'm saying? Definitely all the companies. We got to make sure we show love. We watching everybody, you know what I'm saying? And as somebody who's very much so active on the Twitter space, I want to make sure you tapped in with us as well. Thank you for joining us at Ringside. Let them know where to find you at.
You can find me on Twitter at punksworld. That is 2 D's, I think. I don't even remember how to spell my own Twitter name, but you'll find it. You'll find it. I'm always talking about any and everything, but I keep it light. I keep the jokes all the time. So find me on Twitter. Maybe you'll find me on, a different space soon once I get myself in that space. But Twitter is where you'll find me mostly.
That's A1. We appreciate you, girl. Thank you for pulling up to the RSC. It's episode 103. We don't got an intro or outro survey this week. It is what it is. It's too much going on, but we will be back next week. Hopefully, I'll have my predictions championship still on deck. Claim my victory. Until next
Thank you,
week,
guys.
Kiki, thank you. I am Chad Law, CHADLAW. My guy right here, compadre A.O. Baker. We out, y'all.
nigga.